Good evening, guys. Today is July 17th, 2020. I'm your host, Poro. Today, we're going to be looking at what the gubernatorial races look like today as of July 17th, 2020. So, as we know, there are 11 elections this election cycle in 2020, with most of these either being safe or leaning in one party's column. With that being said, states in gray are your toss-up states, or not toss-up states, states that have elections this year, while the states in white are states that won't have elections for their governor this year. And with that being said, most of these states, again, are pretty safe already. So starting off with the state of Delaware. We're going to start off with the state of Delaware. Incumbent Governor John Carney has not announced he's going to run for re-election, but he already has filed the paperwork he needs to run for a second term. He's most likely going to run against Colin Bonini, who was the Republican nominee in 2016. And although there is no polling there, it's assumed that he's going to easily win re-election in that state. So, one Democratic state already there. In the state of Indiana, Eric Holcomb won his first term in 2016. He's going against Woody Myers, and the state's considered a safe Republican. The latest poll shows him up by more than 40 points, 64-21. So easily another Republican state there again for current Vice President Mike Pence's home state. Now the next state of Missouri, incumbent Republican Mike Parson, who became governor after the former governor resigned after multiple allegations, is currently a toss-up state mostly because of those allegations. He's currently facing Nicole Galloway, and the latest poll shows him ahead by 2 points, 41-39. So currently that state is too close to call. We'll put that in the lean Republican column for now. Next is Montana. This is also a really close race. Currently, we have at-large Representative Greg Gianforte, who we know is famous for body slamming that report in 2017, going against Lieutenant Governor Mike Cooney, who is currently trailing 47-43. So it is keeping its Republican DNA by siding with the Republican as of now. But again, Mike Cooney is the current Lieutenant Governor under Steve Bullock, who is running for the Senate. So currently, that state is a toss-up, but with an edge for the Republicans. Now, moving on to the state of New Hampshire, Chris Sununu, the incumbent governor, is considered to easily win re-election in that state, currently up by around 40 points against Dan Feltes. So, not really much of a contention in that state. And I apologize, I put New Hampshire and Vermont also in white, but those two will have elections this year. So, quickly just fix that. But so, moving on to the next state of North Carolina, Roy Cooper, an incumbent Democratic, going against Dan Forrest, and this race is the third closest race in these elections. Although the latest poll does show him leading by 11 points. Some people expect this race to get a bit closer. I don't believe so. Roy Cooper has high approval ratings in the state of North Carolina. He's done a good job there, and most people, as the polls show, most people believe he deserves a second term. So currently, no polls really have shown Dan Forrest with a lead currently. So right now, that race is considered a likely Democrat for Roy Cooper, unless a big surprise happens from now until election day. This race you should expect to go to the Democrats. Now moving on to the state of North Dakota, the incumbent governor Doug Burgum facing against Shelley Lenz, and although there is no polling, North Dakota is a really Republican state. Again, voted for Trump by over 20 points, elected a Republican senator in 2018. Pretty Republican state, so it's assumed to go again. It's assumed for him to win re-election this year with a big majority of votes. So with that being said, moving on to the state of Utah. State of Utah, Lieutenant Governor Spencer Cox is running as the Republican against Christopher Peterson. And again, although there's no polling, it is the Lieutenant Governor. Current governor is really popular in that state, and it is a really Republican state. So again, with no polling, we expect this to be a safe Republican state for the governor race. Now moving on to the state of Washington. Current Governor Jay Inslee, who we know did run for president in 2020, is expected to easily win his party's nomination. And although there isn't a Republican nominee yet, most polls show him ahead by around 30 points, 25, 30 points. So although there are polls where they match him up against all the Republican candidates right now for its nomination, he consistently leads them by around 25 to 30 points. So with that being said, it's going to probably be a safe Democratic state. And that leaves us with Vermont, where incumbent governor Phil Scott, who's a Republican, is currently facing either Rebecca Holcomb or David Zuckerman. But despite that, most polls show him ahead by 40 points. The latest poll shows him ahead by 60, on average of 61 to around 20 points. So despite it being Democratic state nationally, domestically, or not domestically, statewide, it's considered, its voters vote heavily Republican usually for its governor, for its state house, senate. So, again, Vermont is expected to re-elect its Republican governor. Moving on to West Virginia, and incumbent Republican Jim Justice, who, despite being elected as a Democrat in 2016, switched parties in 2017 as a Republican after as he said, he couldn't support the president while being in the Democratic Party. So he switched to the Republican Party, and so that's why, despite being elected a Democrat in 2016, he's running for re-election as a Republican this year, and he's going against Bel Salongo. Again, West Virginia, very Republican state. If I'm not mistaken, the state that voted the most heavily for the president, the biggest margin. Although there is no polling, again, it's assumed to be a safe Republican seat, again, because of how Republican the state is. So, again, most of the races, again, as I said, are going to be aren't going to be that close. There's only really 3 states that are being contested right now: Montana, Missouri, and North Carolina, which are all states that the president won in 2016. So definitely an uphill battle. An uphill battle that the Democrats need to climb if they want to win these seats. I don't really see any of these safe seats changing, because, again, Washington, Utah, North Dakota, all these states have pretty popular candidates that are leading. So, with that being said, from the 16 governor races that are going to happen in 2020, I apologize if I said 11 or 13 in the beginning of the video. It's actually 16. With the 16 governor elections that are going to happen in the 2020 election cycle, Republicans are expected, as of now, polls are dead on if they're correct. They're expected to carry from around 11 to 13, while the Democrats are expected to get only 3. Again, that margin for Republicans can go down to as little as 11, can go up to as much as 14. Is expected realistically, and the Democrats, same thing, can either go as low as 2 or can go as high as 5. So again, most of these states are in Republican territory or have incumbent Republican governors. So with that being said, with this margin, no pickups, no flips so far, besides the state of Montana, which would mean that the Republicans would get a majority of governor seats in the nation. So with that being said, 13 Republican governors will win their election in 2020 according to polls, 3 for the Democrats. And so yeah, with that being said, that's today's video. I hope you guys did enjoy. I hope you guys consider leaving a like, commenting suggestions, subscribing. And yeah, next future videos that include polls, I might just instead of putting on this screen, I might just put on what the actual polls say. So instead of me telling you, I'll just show you so you can get a visual view. But yeah, hope you guys did enjoy. Leave a like, comment, subscribe, and yeah, I'll catch you in the next one.